This is the high-speed lift adventure in Warsaw. And let's start this adventure off with Tower 44. And despite the name, this tower actually has 52 floors. This is a proper epic skyscraper. This place has a set of 5 cone destination dispatch lifts. But despite these lifts being a set, they go different speeds. 3 of the lifts are the high-speed version of Cone EcoDisc MX-18 and go 3.5 meters a second. These lifts go 3/4 of the way up the tower, and the other 2 lifts go the entire way up the tower and are some really awesome Cone MX-32 6 meters a second. Very interesting. Destination dispatch works at different speeds of lift. Generally speaking, if you're going to one of the lower floors, you get given the 3.5 meter a second lifts, and if you're going to the higher floors, you are given the 6 meter a second lifts. But not always. It depends on where the lifts are located and the passenger flows. Let's start off with the 3.5 meter a second MX-18s. And let's surf them. And now let's transfer across to the Cone MX-32 6 meter a second lifts.
That's faster. That is faster. That's a lot faster.
Let's surf them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, fucking hell. Fucking hell. MX-32. Yes. 4, 5, 6. Fuck yes! My fastest so far. That's so good. So then, now we go to the next skyscraper, which is the Marriott. This has got some older lifts which were modernised by Cone. These lifts have the high-speed version of the MX-18 motor and go 4 meters a second. Let's ride them. Eee, speedy. And let's surf them. There's some secret floors. No, secret floor.
Secret floor?
They go to the office. It's half office, half hotel. They're fire exits to the office.
Right. Can you shine it up? Crazy.
Does not get easier.
Oh, fuck. This is amazing. Dan, you're an absolute legend.
We here?
And now we go up to the plant room. Let's take a look around. And into the motor rooms. This is the motor room of the service lifts, which were modernised by Otis. These are not so interesting, so we go across to the motor room of the Cone MX-18s. And these motors are mounted at 90 degrees? What? Why are the motors mounted on their side? That is so weird. I really want to have a more detailed look at this motor room, but sadly there is a camera in the motor room and we didn't want to hang about because security is most likely on their way up here to catch us. So then now we go to the next skyscraper, which is the Deloitte Tower. This skyscraper has a double deck lift setup and quite a lot of the skyscrapers in Warsaw all have this same setup. This setup involves 4 sets of lifts, which includes one set of lifts that just does a couple of floors down the bottom of the tower. Then there's another set of lifts that does floors that go up half of the skyscraper. Then there's another set of lifts that does the floors all the way to the top of the skyscraper. Then there's also another set of lifts which is the service lifts. So let's explore this skyscraper. This place has some ThyssenKrupp lifts. First we go to the little lifts that just serve floors at the very bottom of the tower. And now we go to the lifts that go halfway up the skyscraper. These are some double deck lifts which go 3.5 meters a second, and these lifts look really nice. This is one of the lower lift banks. This doesn't go as far. Well, not as fast. It only goes up to 27. Yeah, it's about 3.5. The other one was like 5.5, so there's a bit of difference in speed. We slam it to a stop, I wonder. No, it's locked. Double deck. And now we go to the lifts that go all the way to the top of the skyscraper, which are some epic 5.5 meters a second double deck ThyssenKrupps.
Piętro pierwsze, lofty.
It's like a vertical train, this thing.
An interesting thing, if you're on the first floor and press to go to the ground floor, it tells you to take the escalator. This is because of the double deck lift setup. It's not possible to make a lift journey for this. Right then, now we go to the next skyscraper, which also has the same lift setup. That's with one full set of lifts doing the bottom few floors, then a set of double decks halfway up the skyscraper, a set of double decks all the way to the top, and the service lifts. But in this skyscraper, they've got cone eco-disc lifts, which is awesome. First we take a look at the lifts that do the bottom few floors of the skyscraper. In this particular building, these lifts are glass.
Poziom -3.
How do I get into the rest of the lifts in the skyscraper? There's security barriers. Well, there's always a way, and I love trying to defeat the security on buildings. I managed to transfer to the service lifts and get into the tower, defeating their security. But at this point I had to blag my way quite a bit and pretend I was working here because there's lots of workers in this lift. This service lift goes to all floors, but it's locked off, so I could only go to the floors that the workers were going to.
Like a 5 metre a second goods lift is. This must be MX40. Oh, fucking hell, it's big and fast.
21st floor.
So then I managed to get to one of the floors in the skyscraper, which is under construction. Let's take a look around. And along to the lifts.
Oh, it's a lower set, fuck.
But sadly, I am not over halfway, meaning these are not the double deck lifts to the top. These are only the double deck lifts that go halfway up the skyscraper. That's disappointing.
Fuck, I wanted the high set, I'm only on the low set. Hmm, 4 metre a second for the lower set. I want to see how fast the upper set goes. Fuck. Oh, fucked up on this.
Piętro pierwsze.
Okay, I've now switched from an odd to an even. That's interesting. So now I've switched to even. I should now get downstairs, hopefully. Yes. Yes, I'm getting even. Because I've just made a switch from odd to even. Oh, no fucking way. I just made a switch from odd to even. So this lift's an even setup. I was in the lift an odd setup. So that means I'm going to floor 0. If I could transfer across to the upper lifts. The thing is, Schindler on double decks always has odd and even. Cone doesn't. Cone's an algorithm, so sometimes the odd and even deck switches.
So, down on the ground floor, can I transfer across to the lifts all the way to the top? Sadly, I wasn't able to, as these lifts were behind separate barriers. That was very disappointing. So then, now we go to the next building. This building is part of the same estate as the last one. This building's not as tall though, and it is a hotel.
Exactly the same. Almost identical actually in design, other than it's a different building. I like that. Quite a bit slower though, that's disappointing. These are all identical. Like completely identical. I think all these towers are like part of the same estate.
Piętro 21. 21st floor.
That's MX-18.
And now we transfer across to the service lifts. These lifts are either cone NMX11s or NMX14s.
Little ceiling. Service lift. That's slightly slow. It's a service lift. This is pretty nice. Let's grab a roller.
Right then, now we go to the next tower, which is the McDonald's tower. That's right, McDonald's has a tower in Warsaw. That is just weird and very interesting. And this tower's got some cone M-Series TMS lifts, which were currently in the process of being replaced with shitty Otises. Let's take a look at the replacement lift being installed. Fuck's sake, it's got belt cables. Ugh, yeah, this looks complete shit. But luckily there was still one M-Series TMS still running. Let's ride it. And let's surf it! And now we go to the next building, which is a hotel, which has some completely awesome Schindler Myconics with perfect intelligent levelling with intelligent overrun. These lifts are the absolute best. These lifts go a speed of 3.5 to 4 bits a second.
Mind the doors. Is it a nudge? Try it. Amenities deck. Big lift.
Hilton Meetings Level 2.
WH.
And let's surf them!
Whee! Who doesn't like a good Schindler? wheels, got a nice lift shaft, got 2-to-1, got a nice big chassis, like really well built. Just noticed something. Both buttons are upside down. Both of them, up and down buttons are upside down. Sometimes one of them's upside down where I don't have the right button, so I just flip one over. But to have both upside down is just weird.
Then I'll do that.